So hello everybody, this is Briefcase bringing you another North American in-house for the ESP community. A little bit of a problem in that last game, so we're just going to get right in. The captain's draft had already happened, all the heroes are going to be picked now just in the all-pick lineup, just to make everything go that much faster. And of course, no lanes were revealed to anybody, so it is still anybody's game. I think last time somebody said that they misskilled something, so they just wanted to restart the entire thing. Nonetheless, it looks like the lineup has been completely and utterly picked. Good. Now, hopefully we can get past this screen. Of course, it just looks like it takes a little bit of time. I did wax on intellectually last time about what all these picks meant, but nonetheless, I believe we will be seeing a Shadow Shaman in the mid lane for this Radiant side, which I am so excited for. A little bit sad that it's not Rubik, of course, because he is my favorite hero and would love to see him get an Ags nowadays. But now, let's get into who is actually playing who, because there's nothing else I can really talk about. We have Midinoche playing as Bounty Hunter, going bot. Splendid Daddy as the Troll Warlord. Final as Puck. We have Different Ways as Crystal Maiden, and Odd Knob is going to be playing Mirana. On this Radiant side, we have Oro as Axe. Looks like he's going to be going off lane. XVRZ going in the mid as this Shadow Shaman. At the very least, it looks that way. We have Cubes Bubbles as the Venomancer. Would love to see a mid Veno as well. Rubik played by Christom. And on the bot, we have Dakra, this Weaver, going up against Midinoche. Now, Oddnob has indeed skilled up Sacred Arrow instead of Leap. Last time it was Leap. I think that was the issue, and Splendid Daddy just did not like that coming off. And now everybody's still having the exact same starting items, fairly certain of that. It looks indeed like with these sentries, they are getting ready for a little bit of a blocked camp, but nonetheless, or maybe against a Weaver, of course, very useful items against those invisible heroes. And now it looks like Cubes, Bubbles, XVRZ, and Christom are just laying in wait to try and pick somebody off. And they throw down this very offensive ward. They really do want to get these early kills here. And now it looks like Midinoche picking up a haste rune, and that's going to make his life at least a little bit easier. He won't be pulling this camp, but now Cubes and Bubbles, Oro here, and Dom, it looks like they do really want to catch somebody out here. Oro does not have yet any skills into counter Helix, which is really what he wants. And now turning this trilane up on its head, what are they going to do? You do have Veno here, misses his Gale. It's not the end of the world, though. Splendid Daddy is going to be able to get away from this. Christom falling so quickly, and now that very early gank has not gone their way. Oro wants to keep running. Everybody needs to realize that they can't be attacking this guy. And Cubes Bubbles, he did miss with that Gale so sadly. Now Oro in a heap of trouble. He really does want to at least get rid of that salve, and that's going to be a fed tri-lane already, because Oro is going to fall. Ooh, can he do the juke of his life with these tangos? Veno, Cubes, Bubbles will be getting away from this, but can Oro? I don't think so. Maybe he can, in fact. Does Different Ways have enough mana? No, he is that far away from getting it. No Whirling Axes on this troll yet, and Oro, against all odds, actually makes it out of here alive. And now in this mid lane, we have XVRZ playing as the Shadow Shaman, going up against Final the Puck. As far as this lane is concerned, I'd actually give it to Shadow Shaman when it comes right down to it. Puck can harass fairly nicely, of course. He's got that rune control, but as long as XVR constantly pumps up Ether Shock, oh, it's not Forked Lightning anymore, Ether Shock, it's such an instant and damaging spell, 200 damage at level 2. Final will most likely not be able to phase shift out of this thing. That is good news for XVRZ. Now looks like coming off pretty even, however, on these lanes. Dakra and Midinoche trading blows. Shikuchi always so scary to go up against, however. And of course, Dakra now doing his very best to harass Midinoche as much as possible. He is slightly lower on regen, however. It is not the end of this world. And now Axe with a very nice axe, I must admit. I quite like that when it comes right down to it. And now it looks indeed like XVRZ actually having the rune control, picking up a nice invisibility rune for him. And with the amount of stuns and disables he has, that might be very nice for him. They do see it happen, however, because of this ward, so it's not gonna be some sort of secret death for them. Nonetheless, XVRZ gonna get more regen out of this. Final will have to bottle Crow whenever he possibly can, and there's that very instant, very quick Ether Shock coming off from him, and now he picks up a level 1 in Hex. It's nowhere near as good as Lion's Hex anymore, of course, because Lion's Hex now is, I think, twice the duration of this one. Similar cooldown. Or no, not similar, much longer cooldown. Similar, oh my word, it's been a little bit of a time for me. Similar mana cost. There it is. Oh, took me a while, but XVRZ just trying to farm and pushing these lanes, and of course he's doing that very, very nicely. Midanoche and Dakra going tit for tat on the bot. Now they are even in regen. Of course, that Stout Shield going to be providing him a lot of mitigation against Weaver. It is such a strong skill, and wouldn't actually mind him picking up a very, very quick magic stick. So strong against Weaver, of course, and now it looks like Oro, as well as Cubes, Bubbles, and Dom, trying to find whatever pick-off they possibly can. Veno has actually opted not to get Poison Sting, despite how obscenely strong it has recently gotten. Looks like they want to go on Splendid Daddy. No Venomil's Gale being thrown out, however, and now can they turn the tide on Cubes, Bubbles? There is no DPS on him at the moment, no deeps for this team, and it now looks like, as far as these tri-lanes are concerned, the Troll is finding his farm. Oro is finding almost pretty much an equal amount of farm, however. So Splendid Daddy being able to actually get those things, and he's gonna want a little bit of regen from his friends here. Of course, you can't pool anymore. You can use them, however, and you can give them some trees, so he should be getting pretty much back up to full any time now. And now it looks like Final picking up a regen rune, and that is exactly what he needs to get back into this mid. He is losing it by about 6 or 7 last hits now, and he's going to be even farther behind in experience at this moment, because XVRZ has never left this lane here. But that regen should provide him pretty much all the mana and HP he needs to at least take some more last hits here, use that orb as much as he possibly wants. If he can harass XVRZ down a little bit more with that, that's going to bode very, very nicely for him. And now XVRZ using this Bottle Crow nicely. He's just going to be Bottle Crowing all day long, realizing that Puck did indeed get that. But now, as soon as Shadow Shaman gets up enough mana to get off a full combo, Ether Shock, Hex, or Shackles into Mass Serpent Wards, that can be absolutely terrifying. Final now is rotating top, of course. He is looking maybe to set up a gank. It is try versus try. As far as the HPs are concerned, Splendid Daddy is a little bit low. Oddnob and Different Ways are doing fine, just fine. And now, is the Shadow Shaman going to be able to get here in time? It does not look like he's actually doing it. And now Final getting a nice coil on 2 Cubes. Bubbles does get a couple in the Gale. It's not going to be enough, and will this be a complete and utter tri-wipe? It does indeed look like it. Christom going to be fallen as well, and 3 easy kills now for this Dire team. Actually, who died as well? It looks like Final actually picking up 2 kills there. Not sure exactly how that fight went out. Did somebody die already? Who else died? Indeed, it was. Oh, yeah, that's right. Christom did fall earlier in this game. Nonetheless, as far as these last hits are concerned, it is tit for tat here on Splendid Daddy and Oro, and now getting a nice Battle Hunger out on Different Ways. It's going to be very frustrating for him to actually get a last hit. Gonna probably have to use it. Oro getting caught out, however. Whirling Axe is doing a lot of work, and now this tri-lane becoming even more dominant. They've hit level 5. Dom is only level 3 at the moment. Cubes Bubbles only level 3 as well. And now Final doing his best to get those last hits to make up that farm that he doesn't have. And now this early game for this Radiant team is not looking as good as it once did. They do, of course, have Shadow Shaman. He has these wards. He has that instant spell against this Puck, but now it looks like a little bit of play coming out here. Whirling Axe is going down for Splendid Daddy. It's not going to be enough, however. Oro precariously low. Cubes Bubbles really does want this, throwing down every ward imaginable. Can he get the kill on Splendid Daddy? Looks like Splendid Daddy taking too much time just to kill that ward. Cubes Bubbles will fall to Oddnob, however, and you have Different Ways just in the sidelines trying to do his best. Oddnob now, there's a nice ward trap as well as a Shackles. Looks like XVRZ getting up here, guaranteeing it, but those wards ever so slightly not within range of this tower, and now Different Ways needs to be very, very careful here.
Top tower is under attack.
On the bot, however, we have Dakra actually winning this farm war against Midanoche. that Stout Shield has not done enough to prevent everything, and that's fine, just fine. The Weaver will usually win that lane as far as I'm concerned. Oro now needs to be careful. There is level 6 on Midanoche. They have track down, and that is not a good place to be. They see he only has 300, only has boots. He can get down pretty quickly. Can Oddnob land a money arrow? There it is. He will land it, of course, because of that Frostbite. XVRZ now needs to run for his life. He got so much out of this lane and get a nice kill there. And they need to be running through, and I'm not sure if that was a track kill on that Venomancer. Nonetheless, you do have Dakra down here farming all day long, as best as he possibly can. And Final now is picking up a little bit of the farm that he so missed earlier in this game. Now, different ways, maybe overextending a bit. The rest of his team isn't really here. Oro wants to chase this. Maybe it's a bait. It does indeed look like it. There is no Frostbite mana, however, on different ways at the moment. So Oddnob now throwing down an arrow. Will it land? Oh no, a creep intercepting it at the perfect angle, however, to hit Christom there, and just couldn't get it past that creep.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
XVRZ continuing to bottle Crow, not sure if he really needs to at this point. Nonetheless, that Crow is going all the way bugbear right there. And now it looks like Dakra might be getting caught out. He is tracked, however. He can always time-lapse. He's trying to wait for time-lapse and Sakuchi cooldowns to coincide, and that was actually his death there. Final able to silence him, of course, making sure he can't time-lapse out of this one. And now has Cube's bubbles. He has indeed gotten Poison Sting level 2, maybe realizing just how much damage it does. He needs to be where Christom is, however, trying to land those harassing hits, especially on these low health heroes. Of course, Oddnob only 663, but Final is here guaranteeing these kills. Cube's bubbles will fall here as well. It is a double damage Final. Oro realizing things are not going his way. He needs to get out of here. And now leading this game, this Dire team has not actually that gross of a lead. They are leading 8 kills above this Radiant team, but only about 1,200 gold. So none too bad. This Radiant team still being able to find their farm, and this Shadow Shaman in the mid has just picked up a tower. However, this Dire team is picking up way more experience, and now Oro feeding this tri-lane even more. And you need to be absolutely terrified of this Splendid Daddy here. He has gotten quite a few. Has he gotten kills? Actually only 2, but he has been a part of many of them, and having a Fed Troll Warlord is not what you want to see happen. It now looks like Midanoche find XVRZ out in the wrong and precarious position here. He has him tracked, he's chasing him down, he wants to illusion. Dakra coming in though. Is it going to be enough? Do they have a mana for shackles? They do indeed. Midanoche, can you get out of here? And quick enough, he does barely. Can Dakra hit him? Can't quite get him with that Sakuchi. He knows he's coming this way, however. And now they are popping that troll ult. Just try and farm a little bit. Nobody actually engaging with each other at the moment. XVRZ's track will fade now as well. It's like Oddnob as well as different ways trying to set up a perfect arrow. They do have vision here with this nicely placed ward, so they know Christom is here, of course, and they know that Veno's actually mid, so they could actually probably go for this. Oro will always be there to spin his little heart out, and he is going to be hitting level 6 fairly shortly here. Meaning that he is going to start dunking as best he can. Christom throwing down that sentry. Different ways is in a little bit of a precarious position. He does get telekinesis, trying to bait out that arrow. It looks like different ways will fall here. Christom eating that right to the face, and in runs Splendid Daddy. Midanoche is here to provide those tracks, getting that extra gold for his whole team. Oro, I don't see you getting out of this one. Not with track coming off a cooldown fairly shortly. Cube's Bubbles has no way to slow at the moment. Might be able to body block with some nice Plague Wards. Final running in, and a nice Dream Call on these two. Oro will fall here, gets an arrow to the face. Cube's Bubbles doesn't know where to run. It's like a chicken without a head. And now this Dire team, 14 kills to 3. That gold lead, I thought it would be massively in their favor. Actually swooped all the way up, but that was more likely than not that mid-tower kill by the Shadow Shaman solo, making that swoop. And now it actually, even after that 3-for-0 trade, this Radiant team still winning in the gold, but losing massively in the experience. And we can see that right now if we look at these levels. This, I mean, just that says it all, folks, when it comes right down to it. Venomancer only one level, he is indeed one level behind this Crystal Maiden. But if we look at Oro and Christom, the Rubik and the Axe, they're actually I mean, they're both one level. It seems fairly even. Should probably eat my own words here, but they are one level behind pretty much on everybody in the trilanes, and that just accounts for all the deaths that have indeed been happening. Now looks like a smoke going down for XVRZ and the rest of this Radiant team. They really do want to set something up here. They're going to be trying to go onto this troll, and I don't see him getting away from this one. XVRZ actually blinking in, and now there's the invisibility. They won't be able to find him here. Do they throw down a sentry? They see that they don't actually see that he's there, and a failed gank by this Radiant team. So sad. If XVRZ had predicted that ever so slightly better, that would have been a guaranteed dead troll, but actually blinking way ahead, not actually seeing where he was going. And it looks like that's going to, at the very least, be a free top tower. Doesn't even need to use Mass Serpent Words for this one. He might want to, however. They are going to use a fortification. Does look like Final really does want to land something on here. Christom overextending. Are they going to get this tower? They are indeed. Venomancer does get the last hit. There's the Mass Serpent Words. XVRZ falling so quickly to Final, however. And now we have Oro running around trying to do his best, trying to make sure Splendid Daddy does not get through all these wards. Metanoche getting a nice Janata proc, and now can Final get out of this? He does indeed. That is a 4 for a tower, and that is also just feeding Splendid Daddy all the gold in the world. And now, if we look at the graph once again, I mean, that experience just skyrocketing for this Dire team. Still completely and utterly surprised by this Radiant gold graph, however. I mean, they are getting the towers, and I think that's what's actually mitigating it when it comes right down to it. But I'd expect them to have more. There is the huge drop now. Only 500 gold advantage, though. They have 15 more kills than them, only 500 gold advantage, not to mention that a lot of those kills are actually track kills. Metanoche has been very on point with those tracks, and so just very odd that I think that this gold graph is still that much, only that much in favor of this Dire team. They have been playing very nicely and really shutting down all of the little funny shenanigans that this Radiant team have been trying to pull out. Like Veno picking up some much needed farm and experience mid. He only has brown boots. He at the very least wants to get arcanes. More likely than not would want some tranks. Of course, tranks the perfect boot for your roaming ganker hero, which of course Venomancer is a perfect one of them as well. Making sure that you get pretty much full HP in between all the roams and ganks that you can possibly do. So can be very, very nice. Excuse me while I readjust myself in my chair. Pretty much the sole reason. Maybe now this Radiant team thinking they might be going for that Roche. Not the case, however. Metanoche will be scouting out this jungle. He does have quite a bit of farm himself. He's got his track level 2. That can be very scary. Dakra is fairly low. Metanoche now needs to be here. He saw Sakuchi who's just off cooldown. Can he get the track? No track, actually. Opting to just throw out the Shuriken, getting a solo kill now on that Weaver. And that is not what you want to see happen at all. If we look at the net worth, oop, that's the wrong one. If we look at the net, there we go. If we look at these net worths, however, we see that indeed Metanoche, having the time of his life, is still actually behind the Weaver. However, he's gotten all the track kills imaginable, and yet he has he's got a lower net worth. I suppose Weaver has been farming all day long, so he should be doing fine. All on his own, now different ways. Looks like Oro doesn't want to get caught out here. Metanoche trying to set something up along with different ways is not quite enough, especially against an axe. You have a very hard time actually dealing with him, of course. And now some ports coming into the mid lane. You have Christom porting in here, revealing himself. Of course, they know that Metanoche is there. That ping right on target, literally right underneath his feet. Because of that sentry, he was just within range of that. Now Metanoche barely out of range of it as well, and he is going to be running away, getting that nice track on, and this is what you want to do as a bounty hunter. You just get a track on somebody just to guarantee that you have vision of this enemy team, and especially early in a team fight, as long as you can keep those tracks up and get that vision, that's really what you want. And that's for the same reason that you have Zeus throwing out his ult. You want to throw out his ult, not to kill Secure, not at the end of team fights, at the very beginning. And now throwing out an arrow, max range, hits Christom. That's going to be 5 seconds. They want to land on this. They know that Rubik is out for at least 5 seconds. Lasts the entire time, not the end of the world, however. And now both teams dewarding each other at the exact same time. Those Geminate attacks flying, guaranteeing that that will indeed fall. And I'm just not sure how this is gonna go. This Radiant team is a very hard team to actually go on. Oro now getting caught out, getting everything thrown at him, but that's kind of what you want an Axe to do. Did not spin at all. Midinoche will be getting out of this one. You have different ways, thrown down that ult. XVRZ falling very quickly. Christom melting as well. Dakra being tracked. Do they have any one more attack? Gale being thrown out now on Splendid Daddy. Will it be enough to actually take him? Dakra is going to be running away. We have Midinoche, no Venomous Gale on him to actually take him out. However, he will be perilously low. And Splendid Daddy surviving through all of that. We have Oro now going for Oddnob. Can Oddnob get the kill? Can't indeed. Final needs to be careful here. Getting a nice Battle Hunger. Gets actually chopped right now. Can he just barely evade these Whirling Axes? Does he have a ranged Whirling Axes? He does not have it. And now Dakra might be wanting to go on to Splendid Daddy. Whirling Axes, of course, will make Dakra's life fairly difficult. All he needs to do is Shikuchi away now. He does indeed get tracked. Midinoche throwing out them nice. Oh, a failed dunk, however, now on Splendid Daddy. He might be able to actually live through this. I doubt it now with XVRZ being here. Can XVRZ actually get some nice ward trap? Maybe a little unnecessary. Nonetheless, it's going to protect him. Different ways does not want to be caught here. Different, what are you doing? All those wards in the world. And now XVRZ picking up a nice kill here. And now, if we look at this gold draft, there's the swoop all the way back up, at least to the 1,500 difference for this Radiant team. This is experience going to be shooting up to only the 5,000 difference. And so this Radiant team, I should say, still very much in this fight. And if we look at the items now, who do we have going on? Lincoln's not quite done on this Weaver, getting fairly close to it. However, XVRZ has a Blink Dagger, of course, very nice at initiating. Has an Ogre Club as well. That only turns into a few things, of course. Heaven's Halberd, which is not too bad of an option, especially against someone like a Troll, as well as a Mirana, who might actually snowball. No, not so much. Might be going Desolator, however, with that Mithril Hammer. Also, of course, turns into a Sage, and Nyasha would absolutely be unexpected on a Shadow Shaman, and of course turns into a BKB in and of itself, which might be the route that he wants to go. BKB Shackles, of course, very strong. Who else? We have Oro, of course, has gotten that Chainmail. Looks like he's just going to be going for that Blade Mail. Might be going for a mech. Of course, a very strong possibility as well. Not sure if anybody else is going that route. Rubik, more likely than not, will be, however, with this headdress of his. And we have Cubes, Bubbles, just supporting all day long. Has Arcanes, has some nice... is very low level now, and now Oro needs to be careful here. He might get caught out. Actually wants to go on the C Splendid Daddy with the double damage, and now has to be running all day long. He just barely lives, seeing the wards being used as a deterrent, and Oro wants to keep fighting. He has this, and now getting silenced by Final is going to get picked off, however, by that orb. And XVRZ now wants to stay in here. He wants to use these wards, but it's not going to be enough. XVRZ does blink out of here. He is tracked, however. Cubes Bubbles needs to get out of here as well. They do have a sentry down. Midinoche being caught out by it. Is it enough? Shackles going down. XVRZ will fall here as well. Double damage. Splendid Daddy coming in, trying to do lots and lots of work. He does get galed. Splenda will be falling here now quickly. He wants to regen all the HP in the world. Can't quite do it. And different ways, we'll have to be running pretty much all the way home, this little piggy, just to guarantee that he does not die. You look at the gold graph now, it did go pretty much all the way back up to 0 for this Radiant team and back down to 1,500. So none too bad. It is still anyone's game at this moment. Experience as well, at least going over a little bit of hump, a little bit more in favor of the Dire, and now just kind of leveling out, it seems, for this Radiant team. Picking off two nice pickoffs there for them. They now want to make a little bit of work happen on Final. Of course, Oro has his blink. Final in a precarious position. He's going to want to get out of this. He's not going to get out of this one, though. He does actually kill somebody, but will that Sentry Ward Poison Sting be enough? At the very least, Battle Hunger will be. And Midinoche just too late of a TP in here to defend his friend. Oddnob needs to be careful here. XVRZ wants to blink in and make something really happen. He sees the rest of his teammate are going in. He gets the blink in, but a leap away. Oddnob still a chicken, has a TP available. Shackle's always being used, however. And now Oro is here. He's got his blink in just to guarantee Oddnob does not get away. And that isn't going to be even a dunk. Saying I don't need to use that, not by any means. And it actually was on cooldown. Looks like he didn't hit anybody with it properly. Now it looks like Christom is indeed invisible, has level 3 Shadow Walk stolen by Midinoche, actually goes around the trees, sees that they want to set up some stacks here for this Troll Warlord, who I believe is the only one with any amount of lifesteal at the moment. Sees Midinoche now. He wants to steal track. I guarantee you that is the much better skill to steal here. Now he is throwing down a nice telekinesis. Midinoche is caught out. Everything going down. A silence interrupting everything. A beautiful Dream Coil, however, hitting for Cube's Bubbles. Cannot leave this area. Throwing down any ward he possibly can. Dakra might want to time lapse back up to full HP. Get rid of that track as well. Oro doing his best to zone everybody out. Throwing down every Battle Hunger imaginable. Midinoche, no deny going your way. You cannot do that, my friend. And now, falling to this axe once again. Now, Venomancer buying out 2 smokes, different ways, always in the wrong place at the wrong time. Christom always hitting giant arrows in the face as well. And now Oro staying around his buddy just to make sure he gets out of here. And XVRZ, as well as the rest of this squad, just going to be retreating maybe, trying to find a little bit more HP for everybody. Oro really does need some more mana in his pool to really make anything happen. And now Dakra has his Lincolns, will be far safer here in his farming. Of course, can always get silenced by Puck, which is a very scary, scary thing to happen to you as a Weaver, but will not get tracked as easily. Sakuchi will be more effective. There's that silence. Can he Sakuchi away? And time lapses Sakuchi. There it is. He's fine. Gonna be getting away all day long. And if we look at these gold graphs, now it's actually in favor of the Radiant team. As far as experience, it's almost even completely out. Some very nice team fights recently coming out from this Radiant team and this Dire team. Their massive kill lead, still at 10 kills. It's not the 15 that it once was, however. Just starting to dwindle. And that might be coming from the superior team fight of this Radiant team. Of course, Dire, amazing at single target DPS. You have your Troll Warlord, goes on anybody. Puck, fairly good at that. AoE, however, Midinoche, all he is single target. Mirana a little bit better at the AoE with Starstorm. Nonetheless, they are looking to make something happen with this Mirana ult. It doesn't look like they will be finding anybody, and it does indeed look like, no, they still, Venomancer, Cubes, Bubbles, still having those 2 smokes at their disposal whenever they want, and Dakra realizing something is a little bit amiss. This Radiant team realizing that every single person from the Dire team is nowhere to be seen. They are just Dakra retreating into the trees. And XVRZ, more likely than not, going to be taking this tower. I mean, who on the Dire team has a TP? Troll does. Oddnob does. That's good. Different ways. No TP on the Crystal Maiden. No TP on Puck. Midinoche has a TP, however, and no kills going on here. And now it looks like this Radiant team going to pick up a completely and utterly free tower. They do have fortification available. They need to be a little bit worried here. They do have vision, however, so this is fairly safe. A smoke coming in would be the death of them for sure, but this is going to be a nice free tower. And now Cubes, Bubbles opting to actually up Plague Ward right on par with Poison Sting, realizing just how strong it is. Of course, Venomous Gale only being used for its amazing slow, which doesn't actually scale over its level ups. So now it looks like Dakra, as well as Midinoche, going toe for toe in this bottom lane. Midinoche trying to track some things in. Final is completely hidden from him now as well. So they're really trying to set up a gank on Dakra. They really need to get that silence. Janata basically throw everything imaginable at him just to guarantee that he does indeed fall. And now, will this be the end of Dakra? Will he fall in time? It can't be quite. Can time lapse out of it. Does get stunned, so he can't Sakuchi away. And now he is still tracked. Midinoche wants to go on this. It's not going to be enough, however. And Christom wants to find a nice spell to steal. I guarantee it. It's like Christom trying to bait everybody out along with Cube's Bubbles, knowing that Bounty as well as Puck are nowhere to be seen in this lane. They will be fairly safe here, of course. Bounty very, very good at just absolutely wrecking any single support's face. And now everybody realizing things are going their way. They have all the blink daggers in the world. Now looks like Splendid Daddy is caught out in some wards. He has found a way out. It's not going to be enough though. That BKB does not protect you from this culling blade. And now a full ult being used by, actually, Christom can't quite kill different ways. Not the end of the world. Venomancer was there, however, to guarantee it. A buyback by Splendid Daddy to get back into this fight. And now he is not going to be getting any gold for 30 more seconds. And a wasted buyback. Usually this is what you want to see happen. You have, or I should say, if you are the Radiant team, you get somebody to buy back and you just retreat. He is now out a lot of gold. He can't get any more for a little while. Next time he dies, he's going to be out of even more time in gold. And now those wards dying just when Splendid Daddy wants to take him out. Actually uses his ult for it as well. XVRZ picked up a easy free kill there on the Mirana as well. No ult available for him. Can always blink away. He needs to do it now. Splendid Daddy would have caught him out, especially with Puck here as well. And now it looks like Dakra farming up this Satyr Tormentor. And now it looks like, oh no! Oro as well as Venomancer being caught out here, trying to get everybody he possibly can. Can't do it though. Will different ways get the last hit? He does indeed, canceling that. And there's the Gem of True Sight down. And that is a bad sign for this Radiant team. If we look now, they did gain a gold advantage. That's all the towers they're taking because of the Shadow Shaman. But if we look at the experience now, fairly even, so still a very, very close game.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Like Christom trying to find a little bit of farm of his own, however, does not have the best boots to really go toe for toe against this lineup. Now this Dire team realizing just how far behind they are as far as towers are concerned, and now wanting to get a tower, and this you usually don't see against a troll warlord, of course. That battle trance makes it so that towers fall so quickly, as we just saw. That was, what, 10 seconds? And that was it. Now, this Dire team, more likely than not, wanting to take a few more towers of their own. They do have a very good lineup for ganking, of course. You have Midinoche, the Bounty Hunter, combined with Splendid Daddy, Oddnob's ult as well. Not to mention, Final, the Puck has Blink Dagger, can be very scary as far as ganks are concerned. Has ganked our Weaver up the top. Has ganked Dakra every once in a while as well. So very, very scary lineup to go up against when you don't have the map control and the map awareness, really. And if we look here, they actually don't see very much. They don't have very many wards around at all. They don't have a good vision of the entire map at the moment. If we look at the Dire, they have much better vision. Of course, the jungle right there, as well as this ward spot. So this Dire team, I think what they should be doing right now, really, is going in, trying to guarantee getting all those towers down as much as they possibly can. And then with that momentum, not to mention that map control of theirs, really find some nice pickoffs, make something happen. And now we have Aura running in, gets 3 with his battle call. It's not going to be enough now. Dom, though, however, getting that big ult out. Or not Dom, Venomancer getting that big ult out. Dom has stolen leap. He will fall here. The ward's doing some work. Not enough now. Oddnob taking a hit. Now Oddnob falling to the wards from behind. And now XVZ dead? DZ, I believe? Falling now for pretty much nothing. So a 1-for-3 trade for this Dire team. They must be liking that. And there's that gold advantage going back into the way of the Dire team. And now they're going to farm these wards up. Splendid Daddy's going to get all that much more gold. And he's going to get that much closer to his next item. He's sitting at 3.2k now. And not sure exactly what he's going to be buying. But let's see. We do have Dakra down here, has picked up his first Mithril Hammer, is gonna be wanting to pick up another one of them, of course. Finish off that Desolator more likely than not. We do have Final, who has picked up his Sheepstick now, and that's gonna make ganking this Weaver all the easier. Of course, we do have Final Puck not having a targetable spell of his own to cancel that Weaver ult. I don't think even Dream Coil will cancel it. I could be wrong here. Or I should say, to cancel that Lincolns of Weavers. So now will not fall just to Puck, of course, because that sheep will be used, and it doesn't really matter. So he really does need the accompaniment of one of his friends here. But nonetheless, should be doing fine, just fine. If we look here in the middle, it looks like XVRZ wanting to set something up indeed has gotten his BKB just to make sure, more likely than not, he BKBs, blinks in, throws down his wards, making sure that he does not get stun locked or dream coiled or any of that funniness, and can still throw down all of his spells, making sure that Puck does not silence him. And now this Radiant team, realizing that this Dire team really does want to start taking these towers, get a little bit more map control. In they both pop, however. XVRZ has not thrown down his ult, however. There it is. Splendid Daddy needs to get out of here. And Oro not able to actually chop him down. And now XVRZ has caught out a final. Dakra is going to get it. It's a Puck for a Venom. That is a good trade. Oh, no, wait. It's a Puck and a Troll for a Venom. And now that Venom doing a lot of work here. Odd Knob, though, however, will fall different ways. I do not see you getting out of this one. No, indeed. And that's going to be a free 4-for-1 for this Radiant team. Looks like we do indeed have Midanoche getting out of there all by his lonesome. And that's going to swoop it at least back up to the even mark for this Radiant team. I would not be surprised. Back up to the 2.5k experience range for this Dire team now. Come on, swoop back up to the 0. I want to know I'm right. We now have Dakra and Christom just pushing up this top a little bit. Of course, most people from the Dire team will be back by the time they would ever get to the front door, so not gonna be happening in this game. But of course, we do have the Weaver doing his very best to continue to farm. Has picked up his Desolator now, of course, and his net worth is pretty much on par. You actually also have XVRZ with a huge amount of gold and is now only 300 away from getting that Ags, which I believe can only be buffed now. What does the Ags do? I believe it gives them all splash damage. Not sure if it increases the count anymore. Not 100% sure about that, considering that the count is simply bigger now, but it will make them do splash damage. Could be very scary for this Dire team to go up against, especially with the ability of Oro to catch out those 3 or 4 man Berserker's calls. You combine that with some wards, that can be absolutely devastating to go up against. A very weird wombo combo. Now Christom being caught out. A Dream Coil only on 2. It's not going to be enough though. Christom does indeed have Freezing Field stolen. They want to make something happen here. Do they have anything? Christom throwing out that Freezing Field. It's not going to be enough, though, doing quite a bit of damage. Can Final get the last hit? It is not enough, and that will fade now on him. Oro wanting very much to pick somebody off. Now gets a big chop on that Mirana. Dakra will be running away from this. Do not see him falling here. Always has time lapse available. Splendid Daddy actually using his BKB for no reason. And now realizing that that's down, they really might want to make something happen here. XVRZ looks like he's just coming in. He has finished off his Ags, and this could be absolutely devastating, especially if Oro can land a big Berserker's Call. He does not have the mana for Blink Berserkers anymore, however. So it does indeed look like both teams will refrain from engaging. And they're just going to go back to farming, maybe finishing off some items. Maybe Axe will be picking up, making something happen with this chainmail, perhaps. But at the moment, I mean, he's just had that for ages. A little bit of extra armor is none too bad, of course. But usually, you do want this to turn into something. And has Christom, has indeed finished the mech, so this is going to be a blade mail at some point in the future, which should ruin not Troll Warlord so much, but Midanoche at least to some degree, and they do not have sentries available. Cubes Bubbles should be throwing one down now, however, and he does indeed catch out Midanoche. It's not going to be enough. That slow still continuing even after he is BKB'd. No idea that did indeed happen. Of course, while you are BKB'd, it will not slow you once it hits, but now Oro almost back up to full mana, has enough mana for a full combo because of those dual mana boots by his 2 buddies. And now Christom is getting all the wards he possibly can. It looks like both teams wanting to set something up. No smokes, however. Splendid Daddy has picked up a Satanic. They get some nice gold there, of course. Oddnob has a Desolator. Puck, very scary as well. And it just now looks like Splendid Daddy throwing out some axes, trying to get a little bit of vision, as much vision as he possibly can.
Radiant's top tower has been denied.
And it looks like Weaver getting a nice deny on that tower, just trying to deny this Dire team getting any more gold. But I mean, it's fairly even. This is a very close game at the moment, only 36 minutes in nonetheless. Now it does indeed, they have casted the battle trance. This Radiant team has to hear it. They know Splendid Daddy's going in. What are they going to do? They know it's happening. They have this Plague Ward right here, scouting it all out. There's the other Plague Ward, checking to see just how low Roche is. Will Splendid Daddy fall here? Do they have any sense available? They're all on Christom. It's not going to be enough, however. Final is getting mercilessly poisoned here, however. And then Splendid Daddy doing his very best to take out all of these wards. You have Venomancer already falling. Oh, Christom has fallen as well. And now Dakra trying to pick off some people, does find an Oddnob with those Desolator hits. Also found a Crystal Maiden. Splendid Daddy is not going to be getting away from this one. And now as far, Final barely living here. 20 HP, Midinoche 20 HP as well pretty much. And that poison from Venomancer doing a lot of work here. And now indeed looks like these wards refusing to shoot this Roshan. Not sure if that's a bug or intended. I know you can trap him. He should be able to shoot, or these wards should be able to actually attack him. Nonetheless, picking up a nice Roshan. Dakra getting that free Aegis there. I shouldn't say free, that very nice contested Aegis. And now if we look at this Roche timer, for anybody who doesn't know, this is the way the new Roche timer works. You have every single one of these points is a minute. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 minutes. And then there is 3 minutes of potential extra time. And then while you actually look in here, there's 3 other dots that show up. Right around here, here, and here. And then there's a bit of red that shows up in this middle lane, or in this middle lane, I should say, of basically glowy light as well. Whilst in there, that red is the amount of time that will not be used before Roshan spawns. So it might be a lot of it, it might be just the very, very smidge of it as well, but it's completely random as far as I know. And that makes for some very, very nice, just defending Roche Pit, really. Excuse me, getting a little bit of a dry throat, a little bit of a sore throat as well, I must admit. Been fighting off illnesses for quite the while. Nonetheless, now Venomancer has a Blink Dagger of his own. Christom not with one either. Dakra doesn't really need one as well, but XVRZ, all he has picked up is 1,600 in the bank. He should have enough for buyback, it seems. Do you? Actually doesn't. Very, very close, however, 60 gold away. He will have it by the time any fights happen. And now, this Radiant team picking off another tower, or I should say getting it denied in their face. Not the end of the world, however. They really do want to force this, and with that, I mean, they don't have a huge advantage in any one direction, but they do have the Aegis. Always, always note that all the ults are off of cooldown, especially these wards, which can be very scary at the moment. Does 130, deals piercing splash damage, of course, splash. I think they always do piercing splash damage. Nonetheless, definitely does increase its damage, making them all that much scarier. And they really do want to force something happen. They really need vision on this high ground, however. They want to put a ward down here. There is no sentry down here yet for the Dire team, so they really want to make something happen. Dakra now, his Lincoln's already popped. Can they do anything now? All the ports in, XVRZ, blink, blink, blink. There's the ult as well, and a lot of damage going down on this entire Dire team. The Radiant team very, very low in and of themselves. XVRZ wants to get out of here. He does have Fork Lightning. Splendid Daddy's BKB is almost off of cooldown, and now getting chopped. It will not save you, of course, from a Culling Blade. And those wards were doing a lot of damage there. Midinoche now caught out as well. This could be a Rax. Who has buyback? Does anybody have buyback for this Dire team? Indeed, most of them do. The Troll, however, does not. Absolutely so close, however. 50 50 gold to buy back here. Midanoche can buy back. A nice blink getting away from that arrow, as we just saw. Final there. They really do want to take out these heroes. Now, he has been galed. Will it be enough, however? Not too sure about that. Different ways will fall now as well, and just feeding these heroes all that much more. XVRZ, his ult still fairly long cooldown wait on that one. And now this Radiant team realizing that they've come out on top. That gold leads up to 3,000 now. And if I do this, we can just watch him do this as I do. That gold lead up to 3,000, experience lead up to, ooh, baby. Now I should say up to 6,000 gold lead as far as experience. Up to 12,000 experience lead. They are leading this game now after being behind for so much of it. And that has to feel good. Now a heart on the Weaver, Desolator Lincolns. He is going to be so hard to take down as we last saw in that fight. And also with 2,000 gold in his pocket, he's going to be very difficult to actually take down. Troll Warlord really does need some way to burst him down. He has a lot of attack damage, but not, or I should say a lot of attack speed, not really enough attack damage at the moment to really burst down that hero at the moment. Bounty Hunter Janataprox with all of this plus damage will help quite a bit. Nonetheless, however, it's going to be very, very hard to actually take down this Weaver. Not to mention XVRZ has picked up his Ghost Scepter now, pretty much impervious to a lot of the damage coming out, especially with Ghost Scepter, and BKB should be doing great at dealing with pretty much all the damage that this Dire team will throw at him. What has Oro picked up? He does indeed now have his Blade Mail. Going for that Ags, fairly close to it, only 400 gold away from it. I think he does see them. He knows that they're there. He wants to go on it, finds different ways. Will it be enough? One spin is like half of his HP, and of course a free Culling Blade you no longer have to think because of this axe buff. Oh, I'm just gonna use a Culling Blade. I could probably kill him right now, but I don't know if I can guarantee it, but it's such a waste on one of these lowly supports. Do I really need to use it? You don't need to think about that anymore. You just, oh, he's within range, chop him, get him done. Of course, now even more in favor of this Radiant team, and that Desolator anti-armor doing a lot of work on this tower, not to mention Weaver himself, just throwing out the damage. Is hitting for about 210, closer to 217, all on his own. So doing great here. Venomancer has picked up a Gem of True Sight. Midanoche no longer can go straight for these supports. Christom looks like he is tracked. They know he's here. Very odd, in fact. They might think that he's bait at the moment, not want to go for it. Looks like an arrow flying does hit XVRZ. He is still tracked as well. That is a long time to be stunned here. Oro, though, that Blade Mail doing a lot of work, and now it looks like we have Final as well as this Troll Warlord both falling. Oddnob trying to do his best to distract as best he can. Looks like Troll Warlord has bought back. Can Final? No, indeed, nobody else on this Dire team has it, so now they will have to make something happen here. He does get a lovely ward trap on Splendid Daddy. He can't get out of this. He's trying to run, can't quite do it. He will fall here as well, and there's the GG by Splendid Daddy. This Radiant team playing very, very nicely, down for most of the whole game, coming back with some amazing team fights. Thank you so much for watching, tuning in. This has been Briefcase, bringing you another North American ESP game, and hopefully my camera work was none too bad this time and the levels were pretty good. I'll see you next time. Woo. That was a good game, guys. That was fun to cast. Alright, go have dinner. Have fun, guys. Oh, my fucking hands. 4
3
hours.
games.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
and I was fine. I was really fine. I actually haven't had a head issue in a really long time. And then just today, just now, so hot and painful.
Noodles.
Oh, yeah. I started smiling when I said nudes.
I don't get it.
Doing good?
Yeah.
Not coming out.
I got socks out.
There you go. Okay, sounds good, love.
Your shirt is in the bathroom. Pass those. Using the pasta that was on the counter. Yeah.
They're actually slightly different.
Yeah. It's fine. It's perfectly fine. How's casting? You sounded distracted.
But yeah, I was. Or I shouldn't say I was distracted. I just felt like I was slightly out of like.
Even though it's been like a day.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that like I was distracted.
Yeah. It just that's how it sounded.
But yeah, that's how I felt though. The whole time I was just kind of easy. I think it is.
You weren't all.
No, I think it was a combo of me trying to do new camera stuff.
Yeah.
Because like my mind is completely on that rather than camera. How I'm actually doing. That was
That's fair.
definitely factoring in. But well, it's just kind
Yes. The last like 24 hours, yeah.
of yeah. What is that?
I kept thinking about my mom.
I bet.
Yeah. Like and I was like just like coughing, like a bout of coughing. And I was thinking about my mom. Like I looked up and like my eyes were like red. She was like, "Oh my god, are you okay? What's going on?" I was like, "My mom's getting married." She was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." Just like her parents are split up too, so like
So she knows it.
she knows what it's like. She was like, "That's good though, right?" I was like, "Yeah, it's awesome." But like, yeah, she was like, "Yeah."
You know, I was
Yeah.
you know,
Off day.
true. Well, I do believe casting.
Yeah, but is there?
You said Saturday at the very. I didn't really ask. What was I'll ask.
But at least like it's just for the kind of like it's all over by like early evening.
Oh yeah,
It's
yeah. It's Eastern time, so like we start at like 1,
yeah.
and it's over by like 4.
That's nice.
Really not so bad. I can still drink. Just fine. Here. Boiling! Yep. Talk to him. Hey, what's up? Next weekend is Halloween. What's this? Oh, he's been. Good likelihood.
I don't know, Zach.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe, but I'm gonna be frank. Hopefully,
Good.
want to,
Good.
but I'm just saying, like there might be a lot of stuff going on. You don't want to. And then also it's like, oh, it's my girlfriend's birthday. Is actually. I'm not sure when happened.
I learned on the third.
That's yeah.
Have the same shirt, Kyle.
Okay. Got it. Yeah. The guy who I kept mentioning like didn't want to acted like he didn't want to be there and all that.
I bet.
Yeah. Like I had like a private conversation. Like an unbiased opinion of like the two guys who cast. Yeah, okay, this guy did this and like he was pretty good and like we melded pretty well. I was more hockey and more excited and he was really analytical. But he didn't really act like he wanted to be there. He didn't seem dedicated. And overall, I didn't have much fun with him. The guy, I'm like, I had a lot of fun with the other guy, but like we definitely did keep bumping heads because we were more similar. There was that. Yeah. But like I had a good time with him. Like the guy who I liked more. Like, well, that guy has like his microphone isn't that good. That sucks. He can never stream. Never be the guy who streams. Like, so that's an issue because if he can't stream for a reason,
Yeah.
but we just both people know the stream back each other. He didn't actually say this, but it's definitely what I said that he couldn't stream. That's a really big issue. Like, and I've talked to him in confidence, and supposedly he can't really upgrade his internet. Can't really get a better microphone. Probably ever.
So was this guy at the flake?
Flaky guy's the guy who actually doesn't want to be there. Got it.
That's who you're talking
No, and then I'm talking about the other guy
about.
as well.
Oh, so the rose cut.
Yeah, I think so. Because the second guy, who I casted with on Sunday,
Yeah.
I had more fun with.
His mic and.
His mic isn't very good. It crackles.
Ah.
I don't know if you can get a new one. And
Yeah.
his internet is, but it's basically impossible for it to be good enough where he can stream. So, I think he's coming. It's a shame because I actually liked him.
Yeah, no.
Well, comparatively. Definitely like bumped heads a little bit more. We're probably honestly, we're probably too similar for it to work nice. Well, but nonetheless.
Oh, I was gonna write down a thingy. Stop saying. I don't know if I wrote it down already. Fine, just fine.
I wrote that down. I caught myself. I know that.
It's also all day long.
There's a lot of things I say.
I know, but you told me to tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other idioms.
All day long. What was the other one we just talked about?
I'm just.
Well, that's just me. I say
I
that even in
know.
person.
No, but you never said it before you started.
Fine, just fine?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
No?
Yes, I did. Fairly certain. I just repeat words a lot in everyday life.
Yeah,
It's how I talk.
which is fine. Talking, but
Yeah, there it is. That's fine, just fine. I already have it written down right here.
not when you're talking, just like stuff. But when it's recording, you don't-
Yeah.
like you can say it every cast, but don't say it every 5 minutes.
What you mean? Well, back in the swing thing. Also, some guy, like, a long time ago, trying to organize like a tournament in Vancouver. Like, cast that shit. Get back to me. It took forever to get back to me. And he's like, the first game's on Monday. Email him? I just haven't heard. Thursday.
Oh, it's supposed to be like this past
Yes.
Monday?
No. It's supposed to be like this coming Monday.
Oh.
But I don't know shit about it. I don't know fucking anything.
Yeah, that's
No, exactly. So it might not. Like, I want to do it.
okay.
Practice. Sound
Get your name there.
exactly. It's in Vancouver. It's like close to me anyway. One of the reasons why I want to do it. Oh, caster guy. Oh yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Just let me do it, type of thing. But
Yeah, that was ages.
for any of this other stuff.
Yeah, no, I know.
It was like a few months.
And I
ago.
got confused and thought
No,
a month.
no. It was like a few months ago.
Yeah, and I know.
But either way, he finally got back to me. I haven't. Yeah, maybe I'm casting stuff on Monday.
Ooh, Carl! Carl! That's pretty cool, Carl.
Never actually get.
Blue one. Blue one.
Blue one. Go with this blue one. Oh, it's the blue one.
Why did you stop on my food?
Cause I wanted to check.
Kyle?
Cause I wanted to check Reddit.
Kyle?
Mostly
Also, you need to start unrolling your sleep.
Mostly because I wanted to check my Gmail. So that I could, see if that guy ever got back to me. I don't think he did. It went to spam? I don't know why it would have. Whatever.
Kyle?
Wait, help.
No, you don't know. Unroll.
Watch it with it.
No, I didn't. Because
But
I
I need-
unrolled them. So.
But I need to do. Fair enough. I always forget. I will.
What are you yelling about?
Have some motherfucking honey tea. Anything else? Your knee or your ankle? Yeah.
I don't know how that would have. I don't.
Sport.
Yeah. Your ligaments while you sport.
Definitely. Good.
God, this is what it feels like. What is it?
And it's similar.
And then a bunch of people answer. You. Or. Could be this or this or this.
Got it.